The Bostonian is Matt Perrault.
This is our city.
The book is Dave Sharapan.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.
Together, they are the Bostonian versus the book.
You covered! You covered 12! I covered!
Follow the show on Twitter at Boston versus the book.
How do you like them apples?
Bringing you the best insight on sports betting news, Matt and Dave's daily picks, and an entertaining and unfiltered dive into the sports betting industry. Here's Dave Sharapan and Matt Perrault.
And here we go.
Happy Monday, boys and girls. What is up? Welcome into another episode of the Bostonian versus the book. Dave Sharapan, Matt Perrault. We are live on YouTube, live on Twitter, and yes, even live on Instagram. Day 2 of trying this little experiment. We'll see how it goes today. It crashed halfway into the show on Friday, so no clue if it's going to keep on going with this. Replayed on Sirius XM channel 159 and on Sports Grid Television. He's up. He's not all that healthy, but he is here. How are you, sir? How are you feeling on this Monday?
On the mend, I'm good. The voice is hopefully going to cooperate the whole show. It comes and goes. It gets high. It gets low. Sometimes I go and nothing comes out. So we'll see how that works. Finally feel a little bit better, which is good. Ate something yesterday for the first time in 3 days. That was good. So we're good. I mean, I got sick watching the Steeler game on Saturday. That was enough. And then I said, oh, my brother Doug sends me a text. It's officially the start of hockey season. That's what we always used to say. So when the Steelers, I remember when there was a lot of years the Steelers were bad. They were great in the 70s and the 80s. Things got rough. So we used to say when the Penguins finally got good, oh, it's the start of hockey season when the Steelers season ended. Basically, the Steelers season ended yesterday or Saturday. So I said, oh, we'll watch the Penguin game. It was 4-0 in the first period. Toronto. Thanks for coming. So other than that, we're good. We got Philly tonight. We got this guy, Sean. He's still looking for that guy here. We'll ask him about that. What else he knows about these Eagles.
No more Fugazi. You get no more Fugazi. He got taken while he was here. That was
Boy, did he ever.
That was my best lunch. That's one of my best lunch stories in a long time.
We'll get
to that. We'll get to that. And then the full weekend of football to break down. A lot of NFL to get into, a lot of betting markets to get into. Just really quickly before we bring on Sean, you're wearing the hat. I just want to say thoughts and condolences to Eric Montross' family, the player that was drafted by the Boston Celtics, and a guy who I ended up knowing and doing some stuff with when I was in Virginia, when he was heavily involved with North Carolina. He was obviously a Tar Heel standout. He was diagnosed with cancer in March, and unfortunately he passed away over the weekend at the age of 52. That is a really tough loss for someone who really was so into college basketball and really into Tar Heel basketball. I mean, he really was North Carolina basketball. So just wanted to say a quick thought at the top.
Yeah. I remember him as a player. He's the same age. We're the same age. I'm 53 now, but one of those guys that you just remember the battles that he had with Duke. And I admired him. I had no idea you did stuff with him. It's hard to believe when you get these notes or messages pop up and stuff and you see them and they're the same age, they really hit home. Like this one I saw this morning, I'm like, wow, I got to get the North Carolina hat out because hat tip to his family and everybody that remembered him as a player. He was a hell of a player.
He was a big dude, a problem, first round pick of the Celtics. And I mean, I didn't get to know him until after his playing days, but like a guy that, you look at, Tar Heel lore, and he's one of those guys you just will bring up and talk about seeing because you remember the battles you remember, but also what he did afterwards, being in the broadcast booth and doing a lot of things with the ACC. And he was a Tar Heel. Like he was absolutely through and through for North Carolina. And so I know a lot of people in the North Carolina region, Duke, North Carolina fans, ACC fans today are hurting for this one. So I didn't know he was sick. So when I saw it,
he was an Indiana high school legend too.
He was.
Went to school in Indiana. So a lot of people
know him
from there.
All right. So before we get to Sean, we have it tonight. You got the Eagles jersey. I have the Eagles hat on. Will Jalen Hurts play in this game coming up tonight? Should he play in this game tonight? It's not needed.
What do you mean it's not needed?
They can lose this game. The Cowboys losing yesterday made this game relatively meaningless for the Eagles. Now, maybe for the 1 seed, you want to talk about that, but it's,
right. We're still talking about that. No?
Yeah, but I mean, I think it's more important to win the division and get the home field. And, I think you're going to be on the road against the Niners. It just kind of feels that way, that Eagles are going to San Francisco, but we'll see how it plays out. I don't know. I wouldn't play him here tonight. If he's as sick as they say, I wouldn't play him.
Well, I could tell you this. If he's as sick, remotely sick as like I am, or people I know are, like, don't play. But if he can play, try to win this game and get that cushion. I don't know. I would still be chasing the 1. I don't know. Hopefully Sean has talked to somebody. Maybe he knows if
line ticked up though. It was 3 last night. It's 3.5.
I know. That's what I mean.
The line tells the story.
He's going to play, right?
Like, the line tells the story. He traveled with the team. He quarantined himself from the rest of the team as he traveled to Seattle. So he is in Seattle. He can play. He might be the definition of a game time decision, right, when it comes to this. But, we'll see how it all plays out. Let's bring on our guy, Sean Brace, who is in Philadelphia from the Gambler in Philly, joining us here on the Bostonian versus the Book. Not our first time meeting, but maybe our first time on, I know I've been on your show. I don't think you've been on our show, Sean. How are you? Welcome in. Thanks for doing this.
Gentlemen, thank you for the invite, number one. I am also coming off a little bit of a sickness last week into this weekend. Yeah, I have my own flu game. I do stuff for the Philadelphia Wings, our indoor lacrosse league. And on Saturday before I was walking in, I'm like, should I just go home?
Do the Wings play in the same league as the Vegas Desert Dogs?
I believe yes. Because they're out there in Vegas. This is my 3rd year with the team, indoor, in arena, announcing and acting like an absolute fool. So I know.
I went to my first game this weekend. I took my daughter. She absolutely loves it. She can't wait to go. She was like, we got to go back. I'm like, really? Of all the things I've taken her to, Patriot games, basketball games, this was the first thing she looked at me. She's like, I want to go back.
It's you get 100 shots off a team. It's nonstop. It's indoors.
Yeah.
And the music is continuous. It's a good time. It's a good time. And yeah, I was fighting it this weekend. Feel much better today and ready to go. So it's going around. It got you down there in Vegas, Dave. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it got me.
You look great though in the Eagles green.
I'm trying my best. I dressed up for you. I wore it. Is this guy playing tonight? What do you think?
Yeah, he's playing. He flew out there. Again, I'm not Adam Schefter here. And Schefter kind of went both ways this morning where he was saying something along the lines of, like, I think he's going to play, but I don't know if he's going to play, whatever that means. He flew out there separately. I think that, no matter what, he was making the trip. But something tells me, and again, COVID's a real deal. It's going around. I know we all take it serious as we should. So if he has it, then I don't think he's going to play. But if it's not COVID, then I think he's going to force his way through it. And to be honest with you guys, enough is enough. Like, Seattle's not a good defense to stop the run. This team can run the football. They just have to stay with it.
Mm-hmm.
This Eagles team is not. Now, I know a lot has to do with Jalen Hurts running the football too as well. But DeAndre Swift, Gainwell, Boston Scott, the offensive line, like, this is the point of the season where it's either you got to put up or shut up. Are you a team that we need to be discussing at 10-3 and the 1 seed and winning the division, or are you just complete fraudulent? And I refuse to believe that this team is filled with frauds. They got great players: AJ Brown, Dallas Goedert, Devonta, Jalen Hurts at the QB position. This team is good enough to go out there in Seattle, hand the ball off, make that your game plan, and run the rock down their throats. It's just whether or not the offense coordinator and Nick Sirianni together will stick with it. That's the question. If Jalen Hurts is sick, then I think we have our answer there.
Sean, why is it that it feels, even though the Eagles have won a championship recently, even though the Eagles have played for a championship recently, that there is still so much to prove to Eagle fans with the quarterback and the head coach combo? Why? I mean, I'm a Patriot fan, so I get the puritanism. We are always looking for the dark side of everything and never thinking our team's any good. But it feels like this year it's gotten really loud in Philadelphia that people are calling out both the head coach and the quarterback for whether or not they're the guy.
Expectations changed everything, right? Last year everybody was so happy, and then somebody put something on the timeline from that 2017 season where the Eagles went on the road, beat Dallas, and everybody was going absolutely berserk, and the world was just the lights were shining bright, the sky was so blue, and then this one time they go down to Dallas and it was just like it was stop everything. Cancel the season. It's just the expectations were different this year. You go to a Super Bowl, you had that big lead in the first half, you blew it. You got to believe that you're one of the better teams. I did, but the 49ers gave the Eagles a dose of reality. That defense is no joke, and they're only going to get better, continue to add new wrinkles, of course, with Chase Young, who they added a couple weeks ago. But ultimately, I'll still think that this team is up there on that level, whether it's the Cowboys, the Bills, the Chiefs, the Ravens. I still think that they can beat any one of those teams. If they have to go to San Francisco and play the 49ers, like you pointed out, Matt, that's going to be a tough ask. But anybody else, as long as Eagles win tonight, because I think they go up there and they hammer the Seahawks. I really do believe that this is their spot. Keep things simple. The defense is going to start buzzing because of the changes. Now you got everybody's attention. I think the Eagles go out there and handle business this evening with or without Jalen Hurts, but I do expect them to play.
When your team plays on Monday night, you get to watch football differently on Sunday. But yesterday, everybody was watching Dallas and Buffalo, and everybody saw Buffalo do exactly what you said the Eagles need to do tonight. Hand the ball off, run the ball, keep it going until, they don't stop you. Just keep doing it. That's what they did. What'd you take away from the Dallas game other than that? Is it the Eagles got to win a division now? It's a wrap, is it not?
You know what the funny thing is, Dave? I took, and I know your phrase is nobody knows. Ask.
Yeah,
I don't know if
you can swear.
You can swear
whatever you want.
Yeah,
whatever you
You
want.
know what? That was a spot, right? When it comes to it, and the Eagles against the Niners, that was a spot. Eagles against the Cowboys. It really hurt me to say it. I was on the Niners when the Eagles went down to Dallas. My bias showed, and I'm like, they're winning this game, rah rah, and that was the wrong angle. It was a spot for the Cowboys, and they lumped them. The Bills, that was a spot for them. I think the Cowboys are the real deal. Dak is definitely one of the better quarterbacks in the game, and he showed it to us a couple years ago when I was a Dak naysayer, and he was a top 5 QB. The dude's a beast. CeeDee Lamb is no joke. We can go down the list of all those players. Buffalo had a hell of a game plan. And I'm one of these guys that likes to check out what everybody else is diving in the game film. I got too much time. Too much things on my hand, on my plate to be watching all 22. So I'll rely on Orlovsky and those guys. Right. And he had a nice breakdown of what they did about Micah Parsons and allow him to roam free and focus on the weak side linebacker. And look, Cook, he was cooking. He was nasty yesterday. So I think there was a little bit of a blueprint, something, again, like the Eagles can run the football. DeAndre Swift is a talent. Yeah. He's one of the better running backs that this team has had since Shady McCoy. Give him the rock. Allow him. Give him the football 15 times running. Try and get him 5 receptions and see what he does putting the ball in his hands 20 times. Why not? What do you have to lose? Instead, they're inconsistent and they want to force it down the field. And I get it. You got guys like A.J. Brown and Devonta, but something wasn't happening there in the last couple of weeks. And I think it had something to do more with Dallas Goedert not being in there and they in the middle of the field, not having to worry too much. And there were plays for A.J. Brown and Devonta to make, and they were unfortunately unable to make those in some of those big games. But now you got everybody healthy. We'll find out if Jalen Hurts is able to throw the football, but man, allow the running backs to eat, please.
I'm going to put this in my hat to play the right part of this because Matt Patricia is now calling plays for your defense with the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles went through a gauntlet, and I mean a gauntlet of the toughest, best teams in the NFL. And afterwards against the Cowboys, the defense looked tired. I don't know how much of it was play calling, coaching, or just going through the 4 games that they had to go through. But does Patricia make that big of a difference in your opinion that there's a new guy calling the plays?
You nailed it, Matt, right? You got to ask yourself about personnel. Is that good enough? I think it was a necessary reaction, right? People are saying like, was this a panic move? You're 10-3. Look, I know we all want to believe that we're, experts. We watch 80 snaps every Sunday. We know everything, right? But there are team meetings, meetings with players, practice film, so many things that go into that type of decision. So I think, look, this team on defense has not been good all season, right? The Commanders, Sam Howell carved them up in 2 spots. You mentioned all those teams they went up against. I know that they won a lot of those games, but still, it wasn't impressive on the defensive side of the ball. And all I'll say is last year, they were incredible on defense. And they lost Hargrave. TJ Edwards at the linebacker position. So they lost some decent pieces. I will say that, but you replace Hargrave with Jalen Carter, who I believe is like top dog as far as facing double teams. So if he's getting double teamed, how are you not freeing somebody up? How is the scheme not working for you to get after the quarterback? I don't know if it was too complex with Sean Desai. They've definitely had some injuries in the back end in the secondary, replacing some different players. That could be something. I'm okay with it, Matt. I'm excited. I want to see what Patricia has. Maybe he keeps it simple. That's words I subscribe to that kiss. Keep it simple, stupid. Maybe he does it tonight, right? And just scheme it and allow your defensive line and defensive ends to get after the quarterback, blitz a little bit more. Because this team cannot play defense as far as, especially in the secondary. They're good against the run, but passing, man, they've been getting picked apart, and not even by the best quarterbacks. As I said, Sam Howell threw for over 400 yards, I think, in 2 games this year against them. So I'm happy no Geno. Drew Lock, come on down if it's the case. It's still not ruled out just yet, but I think it's going to be Drew Lock. I still think DK Metcalf's going to get his yards. I still think the Seahawks players are going to get their yards, but I do think the Eagles come away with that dub tonight, and I'm excited to see what Patricia does.
Giants, Cardinals, Giants.
Yeah.
Does that not sound like 3 wins to you? I mean, it don't matter where they play the Giants. They're playing the Cardinals at home. Come on. Like, it's Tommy Cutlets isn't beating the Eagles once, let alone twice, is he?
Could beat the Saints yesterday, like I told you. I told you that was that train was going to end against the Saints.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, with that green suit on the sideline too. Tell you what, he's getting.
They looked a little sad yesterday. They didn't look like the Cutlets were good yesterday.
No, the Cutlets were sour yesterday. You're right about that. No, it's going to be 3 wins, and Matt, you brought up the 1 seed, and that's the thing. That comes down to Christmas night, right? For the Niners and the Ravens, 5.5 Niners favored at home. Like, that's the 1 seed right there. If the Ravens are able to knock off the 49ers, that's their 1 loss. And I think they close up shop with the Rams. I think the Rams are, watch out. I don't know what they're going to be able to do if they make the playoffs. But what I would say is, the Eagles, absolutely, if they win tonight, I have no doubt in my mind that they're going to close up shop 3-0 against those teams. If they lose tonight, then anything's possible. This team is definitely going in the wrong direction, and I just don't know what I've been watching all season long.
Let me ask you a Sixers question, because they're killing people right now. I mean, it's remarkable. They're not just winning, they're covering double-digit lines left and right. They have another
Song is back.
They have another double-digit line here tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Look, the Bulls are bad. They should. But what has been the difference here recently for the Sixers team? Because they have looked the part at the moment as one of the top teams in the East.
Definitely Nick Nurse is one, right? You got to put that in there as the top reason, and Doc Rivers wasn't that good of a coach, and I don't have to tell you, that better than most. I think he was at that point in time when he was hired, we were all excited, to bring something to this franchise, that little bit stability factor that was more important than anything at that point in time. So you had everything going on in the front office and all that nonsense. So Doc was the right guy at the right time. He just never lived up to the billing. Where Nick Nurse is, man, I'll tell you what, he's very bright, draws up some great plays, hungry. He's been all over the map, God's creation. He's coached all over the place, earned every bit of where he's at right now. Of course, we know what he did with Toronto. He's number 1. Joel Embiid has taken a step in the right direction. I know it's a regular season. We can only go off of what we've seen this year. He's playing better than he did last year and the years before. So that's number 2. And number 3, the depth of this team. I was listening to Pat Bev's podcast. Pat Bev, a guy that I've always wanted on my team. Never thought it would happen, but even at the age he's at right now, dude's a leader in that locker room. Yeah. He's cracking beers after the game. It's great. You don't see that. If he fires up a burner, Dave.
Oh, Well, make sure you don't get them the stuff because there'd be no we get them the wrong stuff. We can't have that. All right. I mean, I had to say
your
something.
credibility, Sean, on that topic is thin.
Please, we got to have Russ do it. Ask where's Russ. Get Russ.
What's redder, the juice bottle or my face right now? My goodness. Yeah, I would just say I'll finish up on this. The depth of this team, the bench, Morris, Petbev, Oubre, all coming off the bench as a second unit and plus some. Like this is the deepest Sixers team I've seen in quite some time. That's definitely playing into it. Although they've just been blowing teams out. Joel Embiid, I don't think has played in 10 fourth quarters. Hopefully that doesn't hurt him at the end of the year. Yeah, they're just smashing teams because, he's not even playing in these fourth quarters. His minutes aren't there, but he's still putting up a lot of numbers. It's fun, and the Clippers are doing the same thing on the West Coast, right? But what's going to happen come April? That's the question.
Right. That's it's fun to see the Sixers back. It's got to be even more fun to see that, dare I say, the Flyers are back. We got a lot of hockey guys that watch the show and listen to the show, and we talk about hockey and bet hockey every day. The Flyers are 7-1-2 in their last 10, 17-10-3, and second in the Metropolitan Division.
You know what you get for that? You get the horn. Give me the horn, baby.
Give me the horn.
Give me the horn. Jonesy, Keith Jones. Eddie Briere
back. Boy, this is
believing.
It's fun, isn't it? When the hockey team's good, it's fun, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah, this
I wouldn't know anymore because the Penguins are no good.
This came out of nowhere. I did not see this. And I'll tell you what, I went to one game and they got smoked by the Hurricanes. Now we know the Canes are a good squad, but they did not belong on the ice that night with them. So, but they've definitely the expectations are so low. I just want to be entertained, right?
Right.
When I go to a game, that's it. And this team is doing that and then some. So, yeah, the orange and the black, they're buzzing right now. That barn is bumping, guys. So exciting right now with the Fly guys.
Last one for me, Sean. What are Philly fans? What's the reaction to Ohtani going to the Dodgers? And then what happens if they continue to add more and more? They went and got Glass now. There's other big arms they may be adding for next season. How are Philly fans handling what's being built in Los Angeles?
Yeah, more of the same, right, for the Dodgers. I don't think anybody's really too fearful just yet, and whether that's the right way of looking at it or not, I'm one of these guys going, man, you continue to add bats like that. I don't care who's pitching, but their starting pitching is still, look, like you said, with that trade, that's going to help there. Ohtani's not pitching, though, so that's, that's one thing. But if they get, forgive me, is it Morimoto? Is that his name?
Yomoto.
Yomoto, thank you.
Yomoto. Yes.
If they get him, I believe he's a chef, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he may wind up. Right. It sounds like he's going to go to the Yankees because he called a meeting over the weekend. Yeah. They requested one, so it sounds like Yomoto is going to be a Yankee, which is really not fun for me. But keep him out of the National League for you guys, so that's better for the Phillies.
Yeah, Shohei is incredible, and I don't think anybody's really cared too much. It's 162, long way to go. But it's going to smack you upside the head when that season starts, and he's in that lineup with Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts. Just go down the list. It doesn't stop. I just want to say, though, it's not fair, right? Like, come on. If you're going to sign a guy to a $700 million contract, shouldn't you have to pay him like 3/4 of that contract at the very least? Right.
Yeah.
But would that even stop him? Because they're still going to be above the luxury tax. I don't know. I just that left a bad taste in my mouth. I'm like, oh, man, if you're going to sign someone to that much money, spend the money then. Don't let them defer $680 million to 10 years from now. I don't know.
Got to find a player who'll do it, though. That's the problem.
That's true. Yeah. That's true. All right, let's talk about this weed story real quick.
Well, you can tell it if you want.
We're going to tell the weed story?
I'll be glad to let you do it. I was going to ask you this on the way out. The crowd, the chat, everybody loves your shirt.
Oh.
They're big fans. Yeah, I didn't know you were a NASCAR guy.
Big three.
95.
I had no idea.
95. That shirt. That's a 1995 Winston Cup Dale Earnhardt Championship. Look at that.
My old man, my dad, rest in peace. He was a diehard Dale Earnhardt fan.
Wow.
And so, yeah, I watched that NASCAR race, Daytona, right when he passed away. I was watching that with the old man. Look, I'm I am not an F1 guy. I'm a NASCAR guy, right? Now, I haven't been a NASCAR guy in the last 2 to 3 years. I won't lie about that, but I love it. I try to get to Pocono when I can. I would imagine that F1 race was insane, although the months leading up to it probably.
It can go and stay gone for all I care.
9 more years, boys. Huh?
I was on the air in Alabama the morning after Dale passed, and it was crazy. It's one of the more memorable. I had a guy who was there covering it, who was literally in the back end when they took him into the ambulance and they took him to the hospital, and like that changed everything. Hans device became a thing, and I mean that was I haven't covered many deaths in my career, and that's one that was like, what happened? How did this go down? It was scary stuff. So yeah, that was a seminal moment in a lot of people's lives that they knew exactly where they were when Dale passed.
Watched it with the old man. Junior, and it carried on. The Junior was a big Junior guy, and been watching a lot lately. Or like I said, over the few years, and then kind of went a little distant with everything. China was wagering on. We had a couple winners in like 2-3 years ago. Yeah, we had a NASCAR expert. This guy was picking them and hitting 65 to 1 long shots. I'm like,
those are great.
Yeah, so that got my attention a little bit more, but not so much lately. But yeah, man, I appreciate it. Little love to the big guy, of course. Dale.
Is your trip to the Super Bowl contingent on the Eagles making it?
No, hell no. No.
Oh,
I'll say 95% we're there.
Coming good.
Same bat time, same bat channel. It's
good. Are you gonna end up at the same place getting this other stuff, or
we're gonna educate him better on CBD versus real?
We're
gonna walk him around.
There was a guy by the name of Jake. He's one of those influencers. He runs around Vegas, pointing out, and he did a video on that shop.
No way.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, on Fremont Street. He was paid on Fremont Street to throw the lure in and to wheel in everybody.
No, opposite way. He was pointing it out and exactly for people like me who come into town that are like, oh, let's go buy it. It's got to be real.
So wait, so you watched this before you came or after?
No. He just did it. Put it out about a week ago.
Okay. Yes.
I'll send it to you guys.
Easily there's 3 huge scams in Vegas. But the CBD shop is right there near the top of the biggest.
Well, tell me the other 2 if I'm coming out in February. I need this.
Well, you can't. Don't ever talk to a woman dressed scantily who wants a picture. Okay? Don't ever talk to the woman who walks up to you and says, "Can I take your picture? It's free." It's not gonna be free. No. Okay? Just
and then some guy comes over and says, "Make sure you tip her."
And the third one, I'll tell you off the air because it's not really compliant.
Yeah. Third one, no.
It's not really airable for.
Oh, I can't wait to hear that one.
Yes, so I'll tell you that one later on. But those are definite scams. Sean, great stuff, man. Thanks for coming on. We appreciate it. We'll catch up soon. If
Thanks,
not,
brother.
See you next month here or 2 months here in Vegas.
Anytime, boys. Go Birds. Good luck.
Go Birds.
That one being Mr. Sean Brace from the Gambler in Philadelphia, joining us here on the Bostonian versus the Book. Always good to get him on the show.
When we get a pro on the other end too, like with the microphone and the sound, like
it sounded phenomenal. It's better than us. I was jealous.
So was I.
Massive microphone envy.
I was too.
Can we address something real quick?
I usually don't get like that, but that was good.
Because my Instagram, Twitter / everything feed is going crazy with Colt fans who just can't lose. They're just losing their minds. Can we just address what happened this morning before we're on the air?
Let me get the glasses.
Can we just address this? So Casey's been suspended for the rest of the year for this hit. This is an awesome still shot because this is my whole entire point. Dave, where's the football right now in this picture?
Looks like it's in his, is it in his hands?
It's in his hands, but where's the shoulder for Casey? Seems like the shoulder is being led with, and the ball is literally split second from being contacted by Casey.
Yeah.
This is a player in a defenseless position. This is a wide receiver who's been thrown into this position.
Yeah.
What exactly is Casey supposed to do here? Is he supposed to let him catch the football? Because that is the prevailing opinion that Demonte Casey of the Steelers should have allowed that catch to happen because he did not have to take that shot. And that this is the type of play that has to be eliminated from football. Instead of going to the root cause, the root cause is the quarterback never should have made that throw to begin with. This has been talked about by a lot of old timers, namely Tom Brady is the one that's been talking about this the most.
Right.
That we aren't teaching quarterbacks how to avoid hurting our wide receivers because defensive players have to be able to play defense. It's amazing that the NFL is so nervous about the lawsuits, so nervous about what could happen to a player in 30 years, which I am all for keeping the players who leave the NFL, taking care of them, making sure they have all the medical care that they can have. They helped build a $1 billion franchise. They make a lot of money, sure, but CTE is a real thing.
Yeah.
But you get CTE from a lot of things. Get CTE from hockey, you get CTE from boxing, get CTE from MMA, kickboxing, taekwondo, all sorts of things. Take blows to the head, repeated blows to the head. You can get brain damage.
Right.
It kind of goes without saying. But people want to take violence out of a violent sport. And you can tell me, wait, KZ has a history and this is why he's had fines. That's why they kicked him out of the game. You want to throw a flag for unnecessary roughness? Fine. Okay. What? They kicked him out of the game.
Right.
Guys who play defense are now being ejected from the game. I don't know what he's supposed to do there other than let Pittman catch the football. You don't take the hit. Okay. So you're telling me I'm supposed to let him catch the football. If that's the case, why are we playing defense? Let's just play two-hand touch.
Right.
Catch the ball, up, you're down. Because in tackle football, if the ball is there and the player is diving, I have a right to the ball. And I have a right to hit the guy to dislodge the football to stop the completion. That is my job as a defensive player.
Yeah.
And we're taking the ability to play defense. Ed Reed, Rodney Harrison. I mean, take your pick of safety defensive back who are in the Hall of Fame.
Ronnie Lott wouldn't be allowed
Ronnie
to play
Lott.
today.
Yeah. I mean, these are guys who made this play every single Sunday when a quarterback was dumb enough to throw the ball into that spot. Somebody said that was a perfect throw. It's a perfect throw from Minshew. It's a perfect throw that got his wide receiver almost seriously hurt. It's called a hospital ball for a reason. I don't understand. If you're a Colt fan, I don't care about your team. Okay, straight up. I don't care about your team. I don't really care about the Steelers either. That's Dave's team. All right. This is a bigger conversation. This is a conversation about people who say they like football, who don't actually like football. People who say they like violence, say they like contact. If you don't watch football for the violence, why are you watching? Take yourself to that cold, dark place in your mind. Why do you watch it? Because flag football is out there. You can watch non-violent football. You can watch sports that do not have violence. You can watch hockey that doesn't allow checking. You can watch, you probably don't watch boxing. If you do, MMA, why is the UFC worth $5 billion? The idea that human beings don't like violence is so crazy to me. You like violence, and it's okay to say you like violence. And that somehow gets you into a weird feeling in your tummy. You start to feel bad. Oh no, I might like actual violence. It's okay to like violence. Dana White's been wrong about a lot of things in life, and a lot of things he said publicly, I completely disagree with. But the one thing he's been always right on, and I give him so much credit for saying out loud, is that human beings like violence. We always have. Going back to the beginning of the Olympics, the way back. Now, how do you conduct the violence?
Well, I mean, not everybody does, but it's okay to say you do.
If you like football, you like violence. Why do people
if you
stand
like football, if you're our age, you like football, you like violence. I mean, that was part of watching the hit tapes was part of growing up.
It was part of it was
like
what
the
made
VHS
guys famous.
tapes. the VHS tapes that they used to put out were 45 minutes of the great NFL's greatest hits, and it was guys dislodging guys from the ball or from each other or big collisions. I mean, that was the game. Now, the headshots got to go, but sometimes the headshots are unavoidable because a guy is at risk from whatever being defenseless. You can't make that decision in 2 seconds.
Right. To me, this has to go. Using the crown of your helmet as a weapon.
Yeah.
That has to go. Okay.
But hard hitting. I say it all the time. Like, I watch the games. I've been watching the games in books for 20 years going, I don't know how to play defense. I don't know I wouldn't even know how to coach it. Grew up in Pittsburgh, the Steel Curtain defense. I watched them, battle teams like Oakland. Now, Oakland, I felt like there were a lot of dirty players, but the Steelers had times, hard hits too, they would be ejected from the game if they were now. They wouldn't even be allowed on a field. It's a different game.
It's just amazing that we blame the defensive player for the offense's mistake. This is not on Casey.
That's no good. Yeah.
This is on Gardner Minshew. You want to blame somebody for why that hit happened? That hit happened because the quarterback hung his wideout to dry. And as a quarterback, read the defense, see the guy, and go, if I throw that ball to Pittman over there and I overthrow him, I might get my dude hurt. I'm not throwing that pass. And be smart enough as a quarterback to not make that throw because you know what might happen. Instead, we say to the defender, nope, that's on you. Sorry, that ball was everything we say, right? Was the ball there? Yes. Did he lead with the shoulder? Yes. Is it his fault that he hit the head and neck area? Not really, because Pittman dove into him. This wasn't like he launched himself. It was two guys coming at full speed. That's going to cause a massive collision. Like, that's just going to cause two very strong, fast human beings running at each other. It's a car crash, literally.
The first guy for me growing up that used to do that was Donnie Shell. He was the safety number 31 for the Steelers. And the safeties this is what they do. This is what makes them great. They arrive just in time, most of the time, and dislodge receivers from the ball in a way that the receiver may not have seen them coming, and it usually results in a big collision. Put it in the chat right now, because I know there's a lot of guys that are watching. I see someone named Steve Atwater. Rest in peace, Pat Tillman.
Right.
Who was your favorite guy that delivered hits like that? Chef Benny said, "Here Comes the Boom" video was on repeat in his house. Like,
nope, can't do that anymore. No, we don't want that anymore. Like, we can't allow that anymore. The NFL is so conscientious of lawsuits and what might happen that they have to act like they really care, because there's no way they really care. All right. This is a sport that's made billions of dollars based upon athletes giving up their bodies for the enjoyment of others. And if this is the case, why can't we just have guys sign waivers? Like, I'm not going to tell anybody what to do, but I don't get why the NFL doesn't have people just sign waivers and say, here is what you're signing up for. You understand that football is dangerous.
Yeah, they don't want to do that.
Well, the answer I've gotten back when I've said that is because if you do that, then you're basically liable for all the guys that came before.
Right. Exactly.
So you're admitting that football can cause brain damage, which we all know it can, that football can be dangerous. Football is dangerous. Boxing is dangerous. MMA is dangerous. It's why we watch it. It's what we like. There was a knockout in the UFC card over the weekend where Bryce Mitchell was having a convulsion on the ground. He got hit so hard. Josh Emmett hit him so hard and over the hand right, square in the face as he was coming forward, that he knocked out Bryce Mitchell and knocked him into a seizure.
Oh, God.
Okay. Nobody wants that. Nobody likes that. But it's a performance that you're like, oh my God, I've never seen something like that get hit that hard. Everybody, I mean, all the broadcasters, Joe Rogan, all of them were like, I haven't seen a guy get hit that hard ever in a UFC fight. Like, that's as hard as I've ever seen anybody get hit. And they'll be talking about it. And people will mention it and be like, did you see that? Oh my gosh. people were watching. They're not going, Josh Emmett should be suspended. Get Josh Emmett out of there. Oh, it's too violent of a hit. Ban the sport. It's just, we watch football and we expect football players on defense to not play defense. And again, I'm
changes
not saying
the game.
I'm not
Changes
saying
everything.
Yeah, leaning with the crown of the helmet, making that into a weapon. I'm not saying a late hit. I'm not saying doing something dirty. Okay. This is a player who's diving with the football in his hands, and the level change from the athlete who's diving to the DB is why he had to dip down. He leads with the shoulder. The ball is there. Collision happens. You're trying to dislodge the football. That's just a football play. It's violent. It's awful that Pittman got hurt. That's when you go back to the quarterback and you're a wideout and go, dude, never throw that again like that.
Right.
You're supposed to throw the ball to protect me, not hurt me.
I've actually had that, like, had a guy come back to the huddle to me and say that if you throw that to me like that again, I'm gonna come back here and kick your ass. Like, I'm like, I'm sorry, I won't do that again. When it was conscious to always kind of think that way. Some of the names people drop, Jack Tatum was the first.
Wow, Jack Tatum.
Yeah, Jack Tatum.
There. Yeah.
Brian Dawkins would have been suspended for what he did to Algie Crumpler. They could call Stevie Mack. Benny Blades, Rodney Harrison, Ty Law, Ronnie Lott, Flying Hawaiian, Sean Taylor.
Yeah. I mean,
John Lynch.
Right.
Darren Woodson.
Oh, yeah. Darren Woodson, sure.
Benny Blades.
Seahawks.
There's some names coming out, and everybody remembers them. So,
like, who's the hardest hitting, like, just top of your head right now, who's the hardest hitting safety in football right now? I have no idea. There isn't one. I have no idea. These guys were Hall of Famers. These guys were household names on defense.
I just went through a couple of teams. I'm like,
we know pass
nobody
rushers.
on Baltimore? No.
We
do.
We know pass rushers.
Right.
That's what we know now, because they're allowed to tackle the quarterback because he has the football, but you have to do it in the right way. You have to go ahead and, put your arms around the quarterback and then tuck him in and lay him down and make sure he's nice and comfortable. And then it's a sack. Because God forbid you hit him high, flag, and God forbid you hit him low, that's a sack. So you have a tiny little window, right? That you must hit him perfectly, and then that I'm all for, because a quarterback getting injured destroys your whole season. So I get the NFL, but then you have to have a give and take. You have to let the defense have guys who can play the sport, who can play the position, because it's now you're not allowed to do it. And I love Johnny Rightside, and him and I were going back and forth on Twitter on this, but he was like, the referees, he said, I've never seen a referee flag a clean hit. And I was like, wow, we're going to trust the referees? This is amazing now. After the year the refs have had, we're bringing up the refs and their ability to flag and whether they are on the right side of anything. I mean, there was a fumble in the Broncos game where the guy literally speared the quarterback. A fumble happened. It changed the whole game. It was like 3 weeks ago. It changed the whole game. It wasn't flagged. He got suspended afterwards for it. The league suspended, but the referees missed it, and it changed the whole game. And so we're saying, because if it's not flagged, that means it's legal? Whoa, that's a big jump in my world if we're talking about giving the referees that much control and power, because they're wrong all the time.
Yeah, I don't want to really do that. I don't think. Put in the chat if you guys think of someone who's the big thumper today in the game that you think of. I'd be curious to know. I don't know.
Pass rushers. It's Micah Parsons. It's JJ Watt. I'm sorry. It's his brother. TJ Watt. It's all pass rushers. I mean, these are defensive players who are known for their ability to sack the quarterback. We don't have big linebackers you got to worry about. We don't have safeties that are going to crush you coming over the middle. There's no more intimidation. It's all about offense in the NFL. And I get the whole reason why. It was all the DFS stuff that came in and the season-long fantasy, and but at some point we got to let these guys play defense. You want to throw a flag on that play? If Casey got a 15-yard penalty, I wouldn't have liked it, but I would have gone, fine, that's the league. That's what we're doing now. Okay, move on. 15 yards, ejected, suspended for the rest of the season. like three things happened to him off of that one hit, which again, I don't care about his previous record. I don't care about what he has done. The one person that should be blamed, Gardner Minshew gets the blame for that throw, not the defensive player. That's on the quarterback. Don't throw that pass. You got your guy nearly, Pittman has a concussion, so he may be out for this year, for this week, for the Colts. And that's why Colt fans are all mad. They knocked out our guy. We're trying to make the playoffs, blah, blah. It's got nothing to do with you. I don't care about the Colts. I don't care about the players involved here. I'm talking about the play itself, not the individuals. What type of play are we going to allow the NFL to have? And wasn't launched. The ball was there. He used his shoulder. These are all the things. Defenseless player, he's defenseless because of the quarterback. He made him defenseless. That's why he's defenseless. And again, if you dive, if I'm a wideout, I would dive everywhere I go now because I can't be touched then. If I'm diving, you can't touch me.
Well, I mean, you can be a 6'7" tight end and just be reaching for a ball in the middle of the field and be defenseless. You're in the defenseless position. You can be 6'7", 280, be a monster. You're bigger than everybody. You can be the only way to maybe make the pass incomplete is to hit you at the right time.
No, that's it was Gronk, and what they did, they took his knees out, so the guy's not gonna be able to walk when he's 60.
Right.
Because everything they did, they went low on him every time.
Yeah.
Because he was up high, and it was hard to get him up high, so they just undercut his knees.
Right.
Every time. That takes a toll. Maybe not right away, but in 30 years, it may be a real big problem for Gronk. Kelsey's talking about it now. Travis Kelce looks like he wants to be anywhere else but a football field right now. He wants to be somewhere else. He wants to be up in the suite with Taylor. He doesn't want to be on the field anymore because he gets hit hard and gets drilled, and it's not a fun sport to play for that reason. That's why it's a short career for a lot of these guys. They don't play for a really long time.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that. That doesn't make it a nasty practice. Look how long an MMA fighter's career is, or a boxer's fighting. I mean, most guys do not stay in the sport for a long period of time.
Right.
They have issues, injuries, whatever it might be. So I just wanted to address that because it's amazing to me the level
of fired up.
It's just, I can't stand how soft we're getting. I mean, I'm a 46-year-old liberal from Boston. Like I am not somebody who's used to siding on the side of certain people that I hear. And I go, yeah, you're absolutely right on this. Like this level of like, I want to like it and I do like it, but don't tell anybody that I like it because publicly I'm going to say it's really nasty, but I watch it every single weekend and I really do actually like it. It's like, I don't watch football for the violence. You're lying or you don't like football. One or the other. Like it's either one because violence is part of it. It's a secret in your own little mind, baby. But if you tell me you watch football and you like football and you're standing up going, oh, what a hit. You like violence. It's okay to say that I like violence. It's controlled violence. It's not uncontrolled violence. That's illegal. That's dangerous. That's breaking the law of society. But we all agreed that I can go into a ring and put on gloves and punch a guy and not get arrested. And we agreed, and you put on helmets, you can run into somebody at full speed and it's not illegal. Law-wise. We like it. Right. That's controlled chaos. As long as it's in a little box, we're okay with it. But now we're trying to say what you can and cannot do so much. Sports changing fast. Let's just go to flag. Flag football is going to be in the Olympics.
Right.
Let's play flag football. Let's just go ahead and do it.
I have a special guest calling in right now. Hello?
Hello?
Hey, how are you?
Hey.
You know we're doing the show, right?
Oh, no. I forgot. Sorry.
Oh, no.
Okay.
I just had a quick question.
What's the question?
Uh-oh.
I was just wondering about the Chiefs game since I was out shopping and I didn't get to see it. Who won?
The Chiefs played the Patriots. Yeah, the Chiefs won.
Yes.
The Chiefs won by 10.
Didn't cover.
They did win by 10.
They won by 10, yeah.
Didn't cover.
They covered most of the numbers.
Not the closing number.
Most
of the numbers. So, like, yeah, everyone that had like 8, 8.5, 9, 9.5, they didn't win. The Patriots did not cover the spread.
But they covered the closing number.
Okay.
Yeah.
They covered the closing number. Make sure you say this.
Sure.
They covered the closing number.
Okay. And Kelsey did not catch a touchdown.
No, because he wants to quit.
I know there was some penalty though on in the end zone on him that they didn't call.
Is that
I was
true?
not real happy about that.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So are you gonna
Tell her to say what Taylor said on TV.
do you know what Taylor said on TV?
I do not know what Taylor said on TV.
What did she say, Perrault?
She yelled fuck on TV.
She yelled fuck on TV?
Oh my gosh.
I did not know this, Jess.
I didn't know this either.
Unbelievable. All right, get back to saving lives. Thanks for calling
I
in.
gotta go back to work.
All right, thanks.
Sorry,
Yeah,
thanks.
you Patriots lost. Chiefs won. Congratulations.
Doesn't disturb you at all that your wife is a Chief fan at the moment? Like it doesn't bother you?
It's annoying as hell. What the hell are you talking about?
As long as we're on the same page here, that this is only because if Kelsey were on the Vikings, she'd be a Viking fan, right? So she's not really a fan of the Chiefs. She's a fan of Kelsey, of Travis. So it's dependent upon one player being on that team.
I don't know what she's a fan of. I don't know. She's not even a fan of me. She's definitely not a fan of our show. I don't know.
That's true.
It's tough.
All right, let's get into what happened this weekend. The Jags were a mess last night. They lost 23-7 to Baltimore. Ravens clinched a playoff spot last night. But I mean, what? Did you watch any of it? Do you see it?
I did.
Okay, the first half. How do you have 4 trips in the scoring area and come away with no points? How is that even possible?
Some teams are good at the red zone and some aren't. Jacksonville is not.
Missed field goal, doink field goal, a inexplicably 4th down. They didn't get any points out of it. And then at the end of the half, I have no idea how in the world you don't clock that. Just kick a field goal. Like
I don't know what that
just
was.
Go down 10-3. You're down 10-0, kick a field goal, go down 10-3. It's a 1-score game. Like what? Look, people who are Eagle fans have told me for a long time that Doug Peterson is a mirage. That it's an absolute mirage. That like this idea this guy can coach is just it's not there.
Whoa.
And the more I watch it, the more that I'm like, they might be right. Like there are fundamental problems, like execution type problems that either are Trevor Lawrence or coaching. But one of the two, big problem. Because the talent's there. Now I get it. Christian Kirk getting hurt is a really big blow to that offense. But the Ravens were dropping like flies last night, and they still couldn't score on them.
Yeah.
And speaking of the referees, that was a touchdown in the end zone at the end of the game. Like, what are we doing?
I don't know anymore. I don't know anymore. What
the rules experts on NBC going, that's a touchdown. Yep, that's a touchdown.
That was
no touchdown. He's like, wait, what? John Perry's like, what? Wait, no. I completely disagree with that call. That's a touchdown.
Yeah, incomplete. It's that none of it makes any sense. I thought I knew what a catch was anymore. I don't. I thought I knew what a clean hit was anymore. I don't. I thought I knew what interference was. I definitely don't. I don't know. Baltimore, this may be the year. This just
11-1 ticket. I got an 11-1 ticket on it. Let's go.
This may be the year. Every team in the damn AFC North won except the Steelers. And I'm like, I don't know. The Ravens just look different. Jacksonville's not beating them. Not at home, not on the road, not on. They're not. You start to look at the games pretty simple when you watch them now. Who's going to beat a game? Who's going to win a game in January at their place? That's all I'm looking for. I need somebody to go to Baltimore and win. I don't know who it's going to be. I need somebody to go to San Francisco and win. That's the only thing I'm looking for.
I don't think anyone's doing that, but I think there are 3 teams I think that could go to Baltimore and win. Baltimore can beat themselves.
Jacksonville's not one of them.
No, they're not. No, they're not one of them. No, but I think Buffalo
Is
can do
Jacksonville
it.
going to win a division?
Well, that's a great question, right? Because so here we are with 3 teams that are 8-6. Who wins the division? They are currently in the spot due to tiebreakers, but with the way they're running, yeah, they might win.
Poll of the day. It's our first poll of the day. Who wins the AFC South? Put all 3 up. Because I don't know. They are leaking bad. Okay, so
Bad,
I don't
bad,
know if
bad.
it's them. I still do not know who Indianapolis is. I really don't. And I watched the whole game on Saturday. Did you see Gumpy dancing
It's awesome.
and saying horsepower?
Well, I guess that's Pat's part of this new
Yeah.
pump-up video there
Yeah.
that is it's
I-
this new horsepower,
Yeah.
like loud house is what they're calling it, right?
The Loud House. Yeah, he
Loud
says
House.
it with the
Yeah.
Pittsburgh accent, Loud House, and then horsepower and all this other stuff. He's using all the Pittsburghese accent. And I almost called Gump Saturday. I couldn't really talk, but I was like, "Are you really dancing right now on the Steelers' grave? Like, what are you doing right now?" You know, and I ended up talking to him
He's
yesterday.
not a Steeler fan though. He can dance on the grave.
Oh,
of the
I know,
Steelers.
but
That's
it was
fine.
at the
Let him do it.
Steelers' expense. I was giving him
Oh,
crap, but
Don't start. Mitch
I don't
Trubisky.
know if they're going to win it in Houston. How did Houston win that game yesterday?
I'm wearing this shirt.
Oh,
I'm wearing this shirt in solidarity
I wore all the Titans stuff
because, I mean, this is spooky,
I
man.
I had no idea that Spooky was picking the Titans, and I saw that he did, and I was like,
he picked a divisional game. I was like, oh no, he picked a divisional game. This is just
no
rule number 1 in my Survivor rule book is do not pick a divisional game. I don't know who he had left, but man alive, it's like, have you been following the controversy over this whole like who was going to chop and who didn't chop, and like Kanish takes a run at Spooky and like, you know, like what's the point of that? Like, what are we doing? We're fighting, gambling Twitter, fighting with each other. It's like, guy just lost, man. How salty. He's not exactly in a good frame of mind. Leave him alone. I'd be furious.
There's no sympathy at all. There's no
10. There's 10 people left for 9.2 million. 9.2 million dollars. 10 people left.
Probably 6 of them are like together or something. Who knows? But I don't know. That was a bummer. I was sick because I was like, all right, just get by 13-0. All right, cruise. No, it's tied. It's tied. It's tied.
I have to address something really, really fast because this is really funny to me. For you guys who are watching on Instagram, just FYI, this is the second day the show's ever been on Instagram. And so if you want to see how many people are watching the show, go to our YouTube channel, please, and stop being a prick and stop writing things about how many people are watching this. Jared Schneider, who the hell you are. Okay.
Oh,
he's like, well, whopping 6 people are watching this show. Do me a favor. We're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, and we're on YouTube. So do me a favor, get out of here because I'm not in the mood at all for Colt fans. Okay. You guys are a bunch of babies and I don't even care about you. Okay.
Oh.
I don't like you. As Gronkowski said, okay, we beat the fuck out of you guys for 20 years and we're good with it.
God.
Like,
Here
so
we go.
I get the idea that you can't handle yourselves. You couldn't handle the Patriots. You can't handle yourself now. Okay. I understand that. And you can't handle the fact that I'm not even talking about you. I don't care about Minshew. I don't care about anything that happened team wise, bet wise. It's got nothing to do with the take as to why the play is a problem for the future of football. I'm not talking about it from your perspective. I don't care about the Colts. You are an 8-6 irrelevant football team. You're not doing anything this year. You'll be lucky to make the playoffs and you'll be bounced in the first round.
Wait,
sorry.
That play is the problem for the future of football?
Yeah. That's problematic to me. That's got real big. If you can't play defense,
he got up and he didn't have a concussion, was it a problem?
Yes, they flagged it immediately.
Well, I know, but if he didn't have a concussion, would people be having this outrage? Like if he got up,
I don't know.
Went to the sideline, shook it off, and he didn't have.
It would depend upon the I think the reason why it's a story this morning is because he's gone for the season. They suspended him for the rest of the year. Like if it was just a flag and a fine, we move on. It's like whatever. But he's out for 3 more games. Like he's out for a significant amount of time. Like he's gone for the rest of the season.
Is that based on track record though? He didn't have a great track record.
He was fined 5 times for these types of situations. He was fined before. But so if you're like, let me correct, but let's play it out. Okay. So he's flagged, first penalty. He's ejected, second penalty. And now he's suspended for 3 more games. That's 4 games he got for 1 hit.
Right.
And why wasn't he, if he's such a bad player, why are you just fining him? Suspend him. It's in the rules. Suspend him for a game. Like suspend him for his repeated occurrences, but you let him go 5 times with fines, and now you give him a 4-game suspension. It's 0 to 100. That's why it's a story.
Okay.
And yes, I do think it has a lot to do with the future of football. Because again, flag football is going to be a big thing in 2028. Just saying.
It's going to be in the Olympics.
Yep. It's going to be a big thing in 2028. So, Cowboys got their doors blown off by the Buffalo Bills yesterday in Buffalo. That was one of my easier bets in quite a long time. Taking 1.5.
It's one of the easier bets ever.
Yeah, you just kick your heels up and go, okay, because the Bills ran the ball for 266 yards. They threw for 85. Do you think this is how Buffalo if Buffalo runs the ball like this, it's a big problem, is it not, for everybody else?
Buffalo runs a ball like this and gets in the playoffs, they are going to be a major problem for whomever they play. Because that is the offense in the way they're supposed to win last year, the year before, when they had home field advantage. You couldn't run the ball. They had an offense built for a dome.
Yeah.
That offense travels. We can go south. We can go west. We can go north. It don't matter. We could go play in the dome. If you can't stop us running the ball, we're dangerous. And then the defense gets momentum. Is Buffalo, I don't want to say it's vital, but like Buffalo playing with a lead, way better than Buffalo playing from behind.
I know, but that's most teams, though.
No, but that is huge. I was impressed.
I was impressed. Hell yeah. I mean, that was defensively, that was a bad. I mean, so the next question is, what do you do about Dallas? Because they're playing on the road against Miami next week. The Dolphins blast the Jets 30-0. I mean, this could go bad for the Cowboys quick, could it not? I mean, I feel like Dallas and Philly are falling off the table, and the Niners are becoming just the absolute guaranteed team to be here, and that's why they won't be here, because that's how sports goes. But it just feels like there's nobody even in the same conversation in the NFC as San Francisco.
Quick update. Old Dominion is leading 21-0 in the
Mikey's
second
there.
quarter.
Mikey Awesome's there, I think, right?
He's at an ODU watch party.
Oh, watch party. Okay. I knew he was doing something.
Yeah. So just want to update you on that. That's the bowl game. Old Dominion in Western Kentucky. Hilltoppers. It's a 1-point spread. Dallas at Miami.
Right.
It's 1.5.
Tyreek's going to play and it's going to spike.
Dallas on the road. Who wants that?
Not me.
This is less than it was at Miami. After that, you want to know why lines don't make any sense, or lines or store
Right.
what? I don't know. You tell me why this line's less than it is.
Because they have to win it. It's backs against the wall, bounce back, but it's the second game of a back-to-back for roadies, and it's 2 very difficult trips against 2 very good football teams. And Dallas looked lost. They've looked lost against the Niners on the road, and now the Bills on the road. Here comes Miami. They look lost against the Eagles for most of that game. I mean, the 3 biggest games they've had this year on the road, they've been torched.
They lost to Arizona.
Lost to Arizona on the road, right? Yeah. I mean, no way am I betting on the Cowboys this week at all. And if that's the case, isn't Brock Purdy the MVP? $45-29.
Did you hear him after the game yesterday say
CMC is the MVP? Yeah, but I get it. I mean,
it's a good thing to say, but like
Brock Purdy is a awesome kid. He's a really good kid. He's a good leader, good player. Look, I don't think he's the best player in the NFL. Okay. But I think if we're talking about the word value, most valuable player, not most outstanding, but I do use the word value because you guys decided it was the most valuable player. He's really important to that offense. Like, he is the guy that directs the traffic. He is the point guard that gets the ball to the right person at the right time. And he is not replaceable. Like, you can't just find the Brock Purdy, on the street to go bring him in and have him run the offense. It would not run the same way. We saw it last year. Jimmy Garoppolo could not do what Brock Purdy is doing right now.
2-1 favorite.
Purdy is
2-1 favorite. Next is
should
Lamar plus 450. Then Dak 7. Josh Allen 10. Jalen 12. And McCaffrey and Mahomes 20. Wow.
So
Josh Allen back in the mix?
he would be. And people say he wins the AFC East, he should be back in the mix because this is where it's wild. The Cowboys beat the Dolphins. The Bills are right there. If the Bills lose one game between now and week 17, week 17, if the Bills went out, week 17 will be for the division. But the Dolphins need to lose to somebody.
Right.
So Dak's got to win on the road. So if Dak wins on the road, there's that. Tyreek Hill got hurt. That ends that conversation. So he's not going to be part of it. So that's if he gets the Bills into the playoffs as winning the AFC East, I think there's going to be some people that will say that yes, it should be Josh Allen. But the whole year, I think the problem was going to be the entire season.
Is Dak done?
As a what?
The MVP out.
100%. 100% he's done for the MVP. He's lost every big game on the road he's played.
Right.
So yeah, no, he's out. To me, he's out. Like he wasn't really there to begin with for me, but I'm not a Dak.
Co-odds.
I know. I'm not a Dak supporter. I haven't been a fan of Dak Prescott for a long time.
Third choice. It's 7-1 right now. I don't know if you could say he's out.
I don't think he has to win at Miami, and I don't think they're winning at Miami. He's a good player. He's top 10, top 15 quarterback in the NFL. I don't put him into the category of like nobody else. If you put somebody else in the Dallas Cowboys, nobody else could lead that offense the way Dak does.
Right.
I just disagree with that. I think there are other quarterbacks that could step in and maybe do more with that offensive line, with Pollard, with CD than what Dak does.
Oh, I mean, I agree with you. I think he's out. I was surprised he's the third choice.
Right.
I would have him 15-1. Go get more money on him.
Right.
Who's betting him now?
Good luck.
Seriously, nobody.
Yeah. Right. How did Cleveland do this again? How did
Flacco?
This game was dead. This game was over. This was done. This was see you later.
Yeah.
Cleveland's had 2 wins this year that you've gone, yep, that game's over. And then you go, wait, how in the hell did you come back?
Cleveland had over here.
They're going to be a tough out in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And they're going to be a tough out. If you got to go to their place, it's going to be a tough game.
I was excited for the Cleveland Browns fans. They were very excited when they took the lead, tied it when they took the lead and everything. And I saw the elf pointing. I actually took a picture of the elf pointing like I do a lot of times on the pictures that I take on Twitter. And I was laughing. I'm like, this is going to be phenomenal. Who in the hell is going to want to play this team? Super Bowl winning quarterback playing with nothing to lose. He's playing like he don't care about nothing.
He made the throw to Cooper.
That was nice.
That was that was nice. Literally a crossing pattern over the cornerback in front of the safety, dropping it perfectly to full steam, and he gets to the corner, runs in for the game-winning touchdown. I was like, this guy's playing at a really the I don't give a bleep is high, and when you connect on it, it's just like, nah, let's go.
It's fun to see.
Yep.
It's also, in a way, I thought this guy was sitting on the couch. This guy was sitting on the couch, and he can still come in and do it. Like,
it's a movie.
What are we doing with all this evaluation and all this other, like, they got young guys coming up, and this guy's this guy's that. We got a guy who was told, we don't want you no more. Just retire. Can come up off the couch.
Multiple teams told him we don't want you anymore.
I know. And I thought,
they're
going to try to go get Roethlisberger. Immediately, so when I saw Flacco, I was like, well, what if they knocked on Big Ben's door and said, listen, the bag is yours. Whatever you want. Just come back and get us to the playoffs. 3 games. You already know the facility.
What's his weight? What does Roethlisberger weigh?
Who knows? I'm just saying. I thought it for a second. I had a lot of fever dreams.
Okay, I was gonna say that's a fever.
I don't know.
That's a
maybe
Patriot,
I was having a fever dream.
That's a Patriot. That's a Patriot fan type of fever dream, like with Brady walking in.
I mean, we got no. There's no. The hope is gone in Pittsburgh. So I drifted, but I thought might have to get some Cleveland exactas. They're going to be in the AFC Championship. Their path, they could get there.
You guys firing Tomlin? If he misses the playoffs,
oh my gosh,
you firing him?
I don't know. We got a lot of people in the chat from Pittsburgh, no fans. They're there. Otto was so bummed out. He bummed me out Saturday night. My brother Doug called me. He's like, my whole day was planned. I was excited to watch the Steeler game. That turned into shit. He said, so I went to watch the Penguin game. It was over in the first period. Like, I just said to hell with it, and I went to bed. I'm like, wow, that's I feel bad. I don't know. It might be the end. This
He's gonna have to make the playoffs.
My guy Sheppy is in Pittsburgh. He sent me a text over the weekend. He said this feels like the end of the Noel era, where nobody knows how to say goodbye.
Right.
He won't leave unless you tell him. But we appreciate everything you did, but nobody's listening to you anymore. It's the message is gone, like nothing, and you're not. The results on the field are terrible. Like it's time. There's Sweet Lou in the chat saying it's time.
Needing to win one more game, so I can hedge.
You're done. That 8.5 kaput.
I don't think so.
Oh, please.
I don't think so.
You don't?
I don't think so.
You got false hope.
You think 7 and 9? They're gonna fall 7 and 9. They're gonna lose out.
No, 8. They don't win an 8.5. I mean,
no,
they
win
over
8.
8.5.
That's fine. They win 8. I could hedge off of it. They got to win one more, and then I bet against it.
I don't know if they're going to win. That the most they're going to win is one more by accident. They're 3-point dogs in Cincinnati this week.
Yeah, it's a game they win.
They win.
That's how they do it.
Since he's still playing.
Yeah, I know. That's how this sport goes. That there's no need. I mean, the Texans had no business winning that game yesterday against Titans. None. But they did. Divisional games are wonky and weird. And who knows? Maybe Mason Rudolph plays the game of his life.
Well, now you sound like you're telling a Christmas story. We got Rudolph finally in for the holidays, right? We got Rudolph playing quarterback. The chat's happy about this. Rudolph going to play. Mason Rudolph, good luck.
Make my Christmas dream come true. Let's go. Whether we get a W. I don't know. Maybe not. Omaha Steak, Searing hot take of the day. It is time right now, guys, if you've not done this, to go to omahasteaks.com and use the promo code BvB at checkout, because to get it in time, you're going to have to do it like today. All right. So you're going to log on and you've been probably waiting around going, I'm going to use it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to buy it. Stop procrastinating. You got to do it now because you need enough time to get the thing delivered in time for the holiday weekend. Okay. It's a week from today. A week from today. Christmas is a week from today. You can do it right now. Go to omahasteaks.com. 50% off sale going on right now. That code BvB at checkout. You save $30 off. I had the steak burgers for dinner last night. They were tremendous. Absolutely tremendous.
What kind of cheese was that? Everybody wants to know.
American.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty basic with that stuff.
Okay.
But it's on our, you want a picture of it, you can go to our Twitter account at Boston versus the book. You can see the burgers I made last night. It was 60 degrees at night last night. It was awesome. It was like perfect weather last night.
That was great. I went for a walk, looked at the sky. I was happy to be outside. I was like, boy, it is really nice right now. It got cold in the middle of the night, though.
Yeah, it drops down. Yeah, I loved it. But you guys can, if you're in the West Coast, you can grill out for the holidays.
Yeah.
BvB at checkout. Minimum purchase may be required. $30 off at checkout. omahasteaks.com. Holiday sale going on right now. BvB at checkout. Go do it right now. So what is your coach's future? What is my coach's future? Because Belichick was asked this question today, and he basically said the line about, like, I'm on to Cincinnati and said, I'm on for Denver. Asked him about his future, and he said, ask Robert Kraft. If you want to know my future, ask the owner. Doesn't that kind of confirm this is over? Like, not like I want to be here or I hope to be here, or like, ask him. Don't ask me. Ask him. He's the one making the change, not me.
What is he supposed to say?
Belichick?
I mean, yeah. Is he just supposed to come out and say, what? I'm gone?
No, but it kind of confirms that he is.
Right. I mean, that's what is he supposed to say?
No, he's confirming it. I mean, he could say, I'm back next year. I'm going to be here next year. You
can't say that if you're going to be back.
Right. Because he's not going to be back. So that's the point, that it pretty much confirms that Bill Belichick will not be the coach of the Patriots next year. And I think everybody knows that. I don't really know what the point of it is. I mean, yesterday went perfectly. Like, play hard, put a fear into the Chiefs. Some crazy things happened in that game. The Patriots, I was waiting for Mahomes to come to the press conference and be like, just want to say we got all the calls today. So thank you to the referees, because, I was harsh on you guys last week. And so, like, acknowledging the fact that you were complaining like a baby and crying about the call that was right, that should have been made. And then you got a bunch of ticky-tack calls, one of which that led to right on a turnover that could have changed the whole game. Guy fumbles, Patriot recovers, turns to the 40-yard line. Oh, no, holding call. Okay, sure. Yeah. That's fine. Whatever. You get the calls. You're Patrick Mahomes. I get it. Okay. So, like, you're not good. Chiefs are not good. Yesterday just completely confirmed they are not good. Tony is not good. Like, they are not. Buffalo. Boy. If Buffalo plays the Chiefs in the playoffs, Buffalo is going to curb stomp the Chiefs. And I don't care where the game's played. I don't care where it's being played. Buffalo will Miami, if they're healthy, Miami it'll be a fun game. Chiefs can win that game. But the Bills, you don't want to see the Buffalo Bills. Like, the Chiefs do not want to see the Buffalo Bills. And the Ravens are so banged up. Like, they got to get healthy. If they get healthy, and then they could get the bye, get time, get right, they'll be a problem. The Chiefs aren't winning a road game in the playoffs. Like, not at Buffalo and not at Baltimore. So
not with Tony in the lineup.
Who else you can put in the lineup? You get nobody else. All they got. They have Tony, and that's it. And Mahomes was still yelling at him yesterday on the sidelines.
Can't blame him.
No. I mean, but again, he's yelling at Kadarius Toney, but like every Giants fan's like, we told you this ahead of time. Like, this should not be surprising to you. Like, we told you what you were getting. We gave you a first round pick wideout.
Yep.
Because he's a nightmare and you can have him all you want. And look, there's no way Travis Kelce is healthy. And there is no way that Travis Kelce wants to play football right now. Does not want to do it. And I get it. I understand the puppy dog infatuation phase. I get all of that. What? I get the fact that you're on a not so great team. Your body's failing. He hurt his elbow really bad in that game. And he's
defending Super Bowl champions. You know this, right?
Yeah, he's accomplished everything. He's got 2 rings. What's left? He wants to be The Rock. He wants to be a movie star. Wants to go to Taylor's concerts all next year. She's going to Europe for a year. A year.
Wow.
Okay? Like, this is not going to be, their schedules are not conducive. Okay?
Right.
In 2024,
long distance relationships are very hard to maintain.
In your 30s, yeah, trust me, I've done it.
Very tough.
And he's going, yeah. You ask him right now, don't play football, go hang out with Taylor. Which one do you want to go ahead and do? He will choose Taylor. I give him truth serum. He would pick hanging out with her because it's more fun. She's the #1 pop celebrity on the planet, and he's Travis Kelce. Like, there's not even a question here. He is a very good football player. That's it. She's an icon that will be talked about for 100 years from now. They will be talking about Taylor Swift. So, like, I get the point. I get his desire. Now, she might lose interest in him. I could see that happening for sure. But, like, next year, if this, like, downward trend continues, Chief fans are going to have to ask themselves a tough question. Like, this is where the team might give up on Travis Kelce and be like, you know what, guy? Like, go do your thing. But like, we got to move on without you. We got to get some weapons in here. We got to go young. You're in your mid-30s as a tight end. You're already talking about retirement, taking a lot of hits. This is what happened with Gronk. Gronk started to do other things. Started to think about other things. His life after football.
I don't know. I'm a little bit biased because, the wife is a big part of the 97 percenters and New Heights podcast and all this.
Go do the podcast. Podcast will keep going.
Well, it still sounds like to me that he wants to play. I don't know if I'm ready to put them all out the pasture right now. They're frustrated. Their offenses, they need help.
And it's not coming. They're not getting help. Pacheco had surgery. He gets surgery on his shoulder to fix it, to hopefully keep it right. That's not good. Mid-season surgery, you're going to come back and be highly effective? Maybe. But that's one guy. They need receivers, not running backs. They don't have, Kelsey made the biggest business decision in front of Taylor. She's right here up above behind him. She's looking down. He has a touchdown in his hands. He sees the safety and he goes like this. Drops it.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Alligator armed it.
No, he didn't.
Made a business decision. Old school Travis Kelce catches the ball, takes the hit. I'm good. Didn't want to get lit up. Didn't want to get lit up in front of his girlfriend.
Did he hang him up? Was it a hospital pass?
No. Well, yeah, it was. Yeah, it was a pass that would have got him clipped by the safety. Yes, but
so we blaming Mahomes for the pass.
Sure, if you would flag the defensive player for, of course, but the defensive player hit him square in the mouth and he dropped the ball. He went ahead, alligator armed it, ball clanked off his hands. He got cracked. Didn't get hit as hard as he would have if he extended fully to catch the football. But he would have come down in bounds, touchdown. Old Travis Kelce makes that catch 9 times out of 10 or 99 out of 100.
Wow.
And Chief fans were like, that's not good. Because in the next play, everyone's whining like what Jess said. They're like, it wasn't pass interference. Watch the play. It wasn't at all. Kelce tried to make it out. He flopped in the back of the end zone. Make it out like pass interference. It wasn't pass interference.
Oh.
So that's why Taylor rose up and screamed the expletive. They put her on CBS and she screamed the F word loud.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, she's awesome. She's awesome. She's phenomenal. She is totally relatable. She is, she's ride or die for her boyfriend, which I love. Okay. If I didn't buy it, I still am not positive it's real, but everything that's going on, she acts like it's real. And I don't think she's faking around. They put her on the gigantic big screen and her father started going Chiefs like this, which is really funny.
Wow, really?
Yeah, because Dad's a huge Eagle fan. So just like the whole family was, the Swifts are Eagle fans. Like she should be all about Jason Kelce, not Travis Kelce. Whole family is Eagle fans. So, one quick one. UFC 296 over the weekend.
Thank goodness I didn't watch this fight.
One of the worst title fights of the year, easily, in recent memory, in a long time. I mean, Dana White normally doesn't make really big mistakes, but Colby Covington pissed off Dana White to the point where Dana blasted him in the post-fight press conference.
Wow.
And Dana does not do that.
Right.
Called him old and slow, which, it's true. That's what he looked like. He looked scared. Leon Edwards was barely sweating in that fight. That was 5 rounds that was a sparring session. It wasn't even a fight. Leon Edwards out wrestled an All-American wrestler. And he could have, the thing that pissed people off about the fight with Leon Edwards, which I agree with, is that Leon could have tuned up Colby if he wanted to. Like, there was a lot of bad blood going into that fight. Covington said some really nasty things about his father, who was dead, who was murdered, and like really, really going down into even for Colby Covington, going into the depths of nastiness. And, Adam Hill said it from the RJ here on our show about how Covington created this persona because he was a boring fighter and he was going nowhere. But since he created this character, that got him attention. And it's so true. Because he spent the better part of his post-fight press conference giving a political speech for Donald Trump. It was weird. I never heard any fighter, any sporting event, I never heard anybody do what Covington did in the post-fight press conference. Basically, like on the campaign trail, basically gave his whole entire ran through every major talking point about inflation, unemployment, the southern border, like he played all the hits, the hits. Yeah. And I was just like, what are we doing? Like, this is unbelievable. He won't even talk about the fight. It was so embarrassing. So he's done. He will never fight for the title ever again. He never should have fought for this title at all. And, like guys like Bilal Muhammad and other guys in the division were right to call out afterwards and say, that was the biggest waste of time ever. Why did we just do that? It didn't challenge Leon Edwards. It didn't help the division. It didn't move anything forward. And it made everybody mad. Everybody walked out of the arena going like, what the hell was that?
Right.
That fight was 5 rounds of boredom. No action, nothing. And if there was so much bad blood, like Leon had to control himself, but he wanted to prove a point by wrestling a wrestler, which is just do what you do, man. You're a striker. Just stand there and knock the snot out of him. Like, knock him out. Like, end him. And it didn't happen. Like, that was, I think Joe Rogan's point was accurate on the broadcast, saying like, this is weird. Like, why are you doing this? Like, stand up and do what you do. You're a striker. Knock this guy's block off and then walk out of the octagon triumphant. Instead, he ended the 5th round with Covington on his back because he was wrestling. He was wanting to prove a point that I can out wrestle you. Like, he wanted a submission. I was like, what are you? It made no sense. That fight sucked on a capital SUCK sucked. And it was really, because it was a good card. I mean, there was a lot of really good fights, but the main takeaway, that main event was just not good. The good news is that Colby Covington's career as a top-level UFC fighter is over. So that clown show will now move on to something else. Clippers and the Pacers tonight. This is an under team with an over record pacing team, but the Clippers all of a sudden have gone to overs over the last couple of weeks. 246.5. Do we dare bet under during a Pacer game? I've done this recently, over the weekend, in fact. I bet under the Pacer game and it hit.
So that total last night was 240.5.
Uh-huh. Zip.
What was that number?
Too low.
Too low? Outright wrong.
Yeah. But it's the Clippers, though. This game can fall under. This game can go under. I would bet under 246.5.
I think about it, but not. I don't know if it's enough. 250 is the number for me, I think.
250.
Yeah, this is going to be close. I don't know who wins a game.
So the Clippers are 15-9-1 to the under this year. They're 13-8 to the under against the Western Conference.
Is everybody playing?
They're 6-5 to the under on the road. Indiana is 9-3 to the over at home. But the last 2 on the road at Minnesota, which I bet went under by 2 points. And then Washington pushed at 260 on the road.
Right.
Last 2 games, 3-game road trip going. This is the first game of a road trip. The last 2 of the homestand for the Clippers both went over. Knicks and the Warriors. Sacramento went under. Portland went over. It was 3 of the last 4, but those home. The last road game was against Utah. It was 225. The game went under by 5.5 points. I think this game goes under. I don't think the Clippers are going to run with the Pacers. 246.5 is so high.
I saw it last night. I first thought it was over. It was over 240.
Ooh. Okay.
Which what it was. 4 makes more sense sidewise than it was last night, 2.5.
Right.
So I don't know. I'm leaning over.
Okay. How about this 248? Washington at Sacramento. 248.
Yeah, it's already 250.
Is it 250?
Yeah. I don't want under that game.
No?
Nah, Washington's so bad. Sacramento may put up 148 themselves.
I was looking at that personally. The team total
Team
for the
total
Kings,
over. Yeah.
Kings,
what is it? 120?
I haven't looked at the number, but that's what I was going to say because last game against Utah went under 125-104 for Sacramento. Over against OKC. This is the 3rd game of the road trip. This is the 2nd game of the road trip for Washington. Their game against the Suns went under by 26.5 points. I lean under in this game too. I think 248 is too high. I just think these numbers are so high.
That may be
250 is just like, wait a minute.
What's the team total? Let's see.
For who? Sacramento? I'm going to say it's 130.
3110.
Sacramento team total is it's 250. Holy mother. I think it's just too high. Team props. 132.5. That's super high. 132.
Wow.
So I lean under on both those games, but I haven't bet them, but I lean under. Atlanta against the Pistons. 22 consecutive losses for the Pistons.
Going to be 23. They're not
When
winning
do they
this game.
lose? When do they win? I mean, this is just.
They got a game coming up. And it's one of the next 3 after this. I forget who it was. I was looking at it over the weekend. I look forward to Fox's tweet, Ben Fox, every day. He says, if you would have just bet $100 and rolled it over on the opponent, you'd have $115,000 right now. Can you imagine? I can't imagine being in the book and going, hey, how are you? Hey, I'd like to bet the money line against the Pistons. Sure. How much? 106,000. Really? Yeah, I'm rolling
to win
over
what?
now I started with 100.
To win what is the question?
To win another $8,000. Or
right.
Like, you got to keep putting up absurd amount of money to win very little. But I don't know when a losing streak ends.
It's bad. The money line tonight to bet the Pistons is plus 470 or minus 650.
Right.
Although the Raptors are bigger favorites than the Hawks are. Raptors against the Hornets are minus 675.
Yeah, I mean, so you come up with
Sackdown's 10. Wow, minus 1,000. Wow. How about that? Sacramento's the biggest favorite on the board.
Well, they're at home.
Yep. So are the Hawks.
Point favorite.
So are the Hawks. It's 12-point favorites. That's weird, right? So the Pistons have lost 22 straight. Hawks are laying 12, and they're minus 650. Sacramento's at home against Washington. Washington stinks. They're 13.5-point favorites, and they're minus 1,000. Nearly double.
The number gets exponentially increased with each point or two as you go higher. You can't give somebody just like an opportunity. Put those two together. What's that money line parlay pay?
Minus 200, right?
Still laying juice, but
you have to be big juice. That is a minus 385.
2-game parlay.
Two-game parlay minus 385.
There'll be people that will do it. Oh yeah.
If you
2.5 hour loan. All right.
The Nuggets.
33% on your money.
If you add the Nuggets, Hawks, Kings, Nuggets is minus 167. Those are 3 home teams, 8.5, 12, and 11.5-point favorites, or 13.5-point favorites. If you want,
why don't you add the Sixers instead?
Well, that's my bet of the day. That's minus 500. That's minus 192. Hawks, Kings, Sixers.
Yeah.
$2.
They can't lose NBA parlay game.
Lay $2.
Throw OKC in there too, because they ain't losing to Memphis.
All right. So if you throw in OKC, 4-leg is minus 123. You're still laying juice on a 4-leg money line parlay.
It gets some agita. That'll get the nerves going a little bit.
Oh, you want to have some fun with that? There you go. Minus 123. Hawks, Kings, Sixers, Thunder. The beautiful thing is that the first 3 legs cash, you could hedge off of it if you wanted to.
Ooh.
But you're laying juice. It's not even really good hedge opportunity when you're laying juice.
Did I just see on the TV that Kyle McCord, quarterback, is transferring to Syracuse?
Yes.
Syracuse.
Yep. Kyle McCord is not a good quarterback. He never was.
Wow.
I said that in August.
Okay.
That's why I favored Ohio State this year, because Kyle McCord's not a good quarterback. And so he's going to Syracuse.
Syracuse. CBW, Syracuse got a quarterback.
Oh, he's way better than anything they got. That's for sure. But he's just not he's not a top level quarterback.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, he got sort of tossed in a way. Knicks are at the Lakers tonight. You want to lay 4 with the Lakers?
No. No. The Knicks just beat the Suns, right? Friday.
Beat them badly. Whipped them.
They were 4.5 to 4-point dogs there as well.
Scored 134 points, what it was?
Took over the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching a lot of it, and then the fourth quarter, they just pulled away. Brunson was unbelievable how good he was that night.
Speaking of unbelievable, do you see what Keegan Murray did last night? 12 of 13 from 3.
Ooh. That's good.
Yeah. 12 of 13 from behind.
Feeling it.
Do you believe it? Do you subscribe to the hot hand theory?
What?
That someone can have a hot hand.
Oh, for sure.
There's a whole book on it. There's a whole book on it that debunks it. It's not real.
It's a book that debunks everything.
It's awesome. It's an awesome book, though. It's called The Hot Hand. It's worth reading. It's really fascinating about that. It's all a mental thing. It's not actually real. It's just a mentality.
Really?
You're no more or less likely to hit mathematically equation to hit a shot or to hit something you've hit consistently. It's more about the way you're approaching it versus the actual odds of you doing it.
Oh.
It's a fascinating book because it's a way of looking into.
You ever play NBA Jam back in the day?
Of course. Yeah, of course.
You know, when he's on fire?
Yeah. I mean, but there's people who say,
I mean, you're on fire. You didn't have to, you just crossed the midcourt, boom, hit the button, you're good.
But it's just psychological. It's just when you're taking it, where you're taking it, how you're taking it. There's no, just because you hit 3 in a row doesn't mean you're any more likely to hit the 4th in a row.
Well,
you just think you could.
Yeah.
It's
sometimes it just literally goes in. You know, there were days, you play sports. There were days like I pitched, I just couldn't miss.
I'm just saying, it's called The Hot Hand: The Mystery and the Science of Streaks. It's a really good book. It's really interesting.
Huh.
For gamblers, it's a really good book. It's worth getting into it because I read I read that book right after I read Thinking in Bets by Andy Duke, and Thinking in Bets is a lot on the same type of thought process of your method is way more important than the outcome. Did you set yourself up right? So like your decision, we judge everything based upon the outcome versus being ready to go with the right decision making, and how do you plan that process out to make that decision? Same thing with the hot hand. Like, when do you take that shot? How did you take that shot? Where were you on the court? Where were you on the shot clock? Where were the defenders? Those all things are more important than whether or not you hit the last 2 or not. So that's what it means by talking about thinking in bets, but then also about the hot hand theory not being real, because it's in your head versus where you were and how you took it and when you took it.
As far as betting goes, it's just, that's what some people will get mad. Even they get mad at me when I say nobody knows shit.
Yes, they do.
Sometimes you're hot. You're winning. Games go your way when they don't. Other times you're ice cold. If the process is right, you got to stick with what you're doing. But you can't win a bet to save your life. Just period.
Last week I was.
Yeah. Exactly. You went through that streak last week.
Yesterday was 6-3. So we were good yesterday.
Right.
So
but I mean,
we turned things around yesterday. But yes, I was there all last week. Yes, I went 4-4, and then finally it flipped, but I went 0-7 before I went 4-4, and then I went 6-3.
Process. It's just life. Just try to keep doing the right thing, and then you get better results. But there's days. What did the one guy say to me? Oh, some days in the book you're the windshield, and some days in the book you're the bug. It's perfect.
Right.
Bam, bam.
For you guys who are live on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram, do not move. You guys are getting bonus time. For you guys who are on Sirius XM or if you're with us on Sports Grid, thank you for watching. We're back tomorrow, same place, same time. For you guys live, you get bonus time. All right, to hockey. No Fleury tonight.
Why?
Against the Penguins.
This pisses me off. I saw it last night. I said, oh, Minnesota's at Pittsburgh tomorrow. This will be a great spot to play the Wild.
Right.
Fleury's got to play goal. You know, on the one side, I looked at it, said expected. And I was like, oh, good. And then I woke up this morning and saw he's not playing. Why is he not playing?
Don't know.
Team. It's a team decision, I guess. Some bullshit. I don't know.
God, this whole ladder challenge stuff that's running around. I just got a DM from somebody. This is not.
What are we doing? Gambling Twitter's going to real shit.
This is not.
We're
good,
on
guys.
bonus time now. We can say whatever the
This
fuck
is
we
not
want
good,
now, right?
guys. Someone just sent me this DM and said, "This might be completely idiotic to you, but have you heard of the ladder challenge with betting? Grab a unit and keep betting your winnings. Could be fun to do on the Daily Juice." No.
Yeah, I've heard about it. It's bullshit.
No, it's complete bullshit. It's not. I'm not doing it. I won't do that. That's irresponsible.
Yeah.
It's just no. Like it's just no. I don't subscribe to it. I don't think it's fun. I don't think it's right for the amount of people who are pushing it out there. I'm going to make you 7,000, 10,000, whatever the number is they keep on throwing around. How to change $10 into 10,000 in a week. Ugh. Okay.
We're never getting off late night. Because neither one, I mean, they would come to us with this and we'd say, all right, how much you giving us to do this? Because it better be, it's our exit.
Right. Yes. Like we're out. That's it. We're done.
If we're doing this,
we're out.
Any reputable reputation, any credibility, anything that we've ever done to build up is gone.
Yeah. And and we're lying because us telling you, we're always going to tell you the truth. Except someone gave me $5 million. Now I'm going to tell the truth.
Is that the number? We'd have to get 5 to do the ladder challenge brought to you by the BvB.
I don't know. I don't understand this. So pass on the Penguins? No. Over?
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I was looking to bet Minnesota.
Yeah.
No, I still would. I don't want the Penguins tonight.
They're in a bad spot.
But now, not with Fleury.
Yeah,
over?
I think over's a good play. So Jay Ottinger's hurt for the Stars. This is really interesting. So this is Big Business told me about this and it was DMing me about this. Number was 6.5. It was bet down to 6, and I bet it over. We'll get to bet it or book it here in a second. But the Stars can't afford to sign another backup goaltender.
Oh, that's a weird time of year.
So they've brought up their AAA, their AHL goalie, to be their emergency goaltender because you're allowed to have 3, but that guy gets paid like $50. So
like
they've
Zamboni driver guy.
Yeah. So they've named their emergency break glass goaltender a guy who can actually play, not some like beer guy. Right. A guy who actually play. Normally, it's just a dude in the stands that like has played a little hockey in his life who may need to come in and play. Only one goalie against Seattle tonight. Wedgwood can't get hurt. If he gets hurt, that could be really bad for Dallas tonight. Dallas is 10-4 to the over the last 14 games.
Over to
6. It's we're going over. And that is part of Bet It or Book It. All right. I took a flyer here on this. I don't know if the number moved or not. In case you're new to the program, if Dave likes it, he says bet it. If he doesn't, he says book it. Under 45 tonight with the Seahawks.
I want to welcome the 6 people that are watching us on Instagram if it's still going. Thank you for hanging with us on Instagram, or the 6 of you, or however many of you are there.
That's really funny. Guy just said, well, hell, the BvB chat just said how the ladder challenges were stupid. Just ignore me. Well, thank you guys. He's in our chat and DMing me. So there we go.
Oh,
Thank you.
well,
chat.
I mean, listen, everybody does their own thing. That's fine. We're not going to do the ladder challenge. I can just tell you that right now. Like people
or
are
on the
doing
juice,
it.
I'm not doing it. No.
You know,
They're pushing it fucking hard too. They're all
over the place.
full
Content,
fucking throat. It's unbelievable.
The content people are really. There's a lot of people that are pushing it because they don't know. Like, what do I have to do? I got to pick a winner 5, 8 days in a row. Sure, I got to be what? Like, there's certain restrictions, or you have to be a certain level on a money line or whatever. Good luck. It's hard to pick 5 winners 5 days in a row.
Yes, it is.
You
It's hard to
put
do it
multiple
over
games
survivors.
together.
It's ask a survivor pool how hard it is. Not easy.
I don't know. I've done it when the NBA gets to the silly season, which is after the All-Star break.
Right.
You can do 2 and 3 game parlays, fading the teams that are tanking. And I did it with a guy. The guy in the book said, "Stop talking about it and do it." We turned 100 into 4 dimes in a week and a half. It was just, put these two like we just did. We just did an NBA can't lose parlay today.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to get in trouble, but we don't have no lawyers coming at us. But put those 4 money lines together and watch the game tonight. See how much fun it is. It can be fun. It can be aggravating too.
You're still laying juice.
Yeah. It's
4-leg money line parlay.
You know.
You're still laying juice. Anyways, tonight, has this number moved at all? Or is it still 45? It's still 45. It's flat. I'm going to take it. If it's Jalen Hurts and he plays, they run the ball, and get the hell out of there. And they don't look to do very much besides run the ball.
under in a Seahawks game.
Yes, because I think possessions. And it's Drew Lock.
Yeah. Turnover?
Well, yeah, that kills it, obviously. But it hasn't moved.
Thursday night game, did it go over last week? Or this
Yes.
past week?
Yeah,
Thursday went over.
that was
Sunday
the
did not.
Raider games. Sunday,
Raiders.
Monday is historically
It's just
under.
Under.
Even yesterday, that game could have gone over. Should have gone over, but no,
How did that game not go over yesterday?
because of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah. Bet it or book it. Under 45. I feel like a stooge. Say book it.
Why? Betting over is not horrible. It's not bad. I'm taking a flyer
Monday night football
on Game Script. I'm taking an under play on it. But turnovers, absolutely. 2 bad quarterbacks turn the football over 100%.
That's what I'm thinking.
If Hurts doesn't play, absolutely, you could be over. It's
Who's playing quarterback if Hurts?
That's why the number hasn't moved.
Mariota?
He would, yes. But the number hasn't moved because we don't know who's playing quarterback. The only thing that's come in is a little movement on the total. So on the side, rather, it's now 3.5. But the total hasn't moved.
Wow.
So I don't blame you. Over 6 Kraken Stars.
Bet it.
Okay.
I don't even know
And
who's
then
playing goal.
Wedgwood.
Okay.
Wedgwood in it against Draco, the Joey Decord kid.
All right, over.
And then Philly minus 10.5 against Chicago. Yeah.
They're beating up bad teams. They're
They are.
beating up bad teams.
And having fun doing it. Having fun doing it.
Yeah.
They're ruining bad teams. And I hate laying 10.5 points, but I think it's safe to go. I like the game over as well, but
Did I just see that the Senators fired their coach?
Did they?
That's the second coach that got to Vegas and played a game and got fired. Staley got fired in Vegas after Thursday night football, and then the Knights smoked the Senators last night.
6-2? 6-2, 5-2?
6-3 final, I think
6-3,
it was.
okay. Yeah.
And then he said, stay in Vegas. You don't have to, you're fired. Wow. Unbelievable. Yeah, bet this.
Okay, we go with that. Super chat questions we have.
We got a couple today?
We got one. From RJ, Montez Sweat leaves both Washington and Chicago in sacks. 8 games and 6.5 sacks at Washington, 5 games and 6 sacks with Chicago. Which D should be more embarrassed?
That's a good question.
The same RJ that sent me that it might be the same RJ who sent me the DM on Instagram about the ladder challenge.
Oh,
I would say the team that he went to, the fact that he showed up to Chicago and in 5 games he has 6 sacks and that leads the Bears, but that's why they went and got him though.
right.
Needed help with their pass rush, so they went and got him.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think it's good on him to go do what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And he'll get a bag and get paid for by somebody soon.
I think is RJ the guy that was watching us on the Instagram feed for the first time last week and came to the chat?
Don't know.
Okay. Well, welcome,
No,
RJ. Thank you for the question.
He wrote me, let's see, the last time he sent me a message back in the beginning of November. And then he said, "Happy Thanksgiving. Grateful you and Dave and the Brigade been listening for almost 2 years now. You keep everything in perspective.
Thank you.
You have a great group of listeners. Thank you for everything you do." And then he just wrote, he said, the first question was the ladder challenge. The second one was, if you do the hard 75 again, I'd love to trail you on it. I wonder if the Brigade would be up for it. Just tossing that out there. I bet you could influence a lot of people to do it.
Yeah.
I will be doing it again. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it in probably, I'm going to do phase 3 in February, and I'll probably do the hard 75 again because phase 3 is only 30 days. I'll probably do it again. The full 75, I'll probably do it in the spring, maybe the summer, somewhere in there, some of that range.
I just did a 2-day fast, so
there you go.
Now I can do it.
Yeah, it can be done. I mean, hard 75 is not even, that's not even a fast. That 75, that 72-hour fast is definitely something I want to figure out, but that's a mental challenge on a mental challenge. Like I got to figure out when, how. I can't be working. It can't be football season. It's going to be like that. I need to be alone for that. That's hard.
I snapped at Jessica on Saturday night or Sunday morning or something. And she's like, "What's your problem?" I said, "I haven't eaten anything in 2 days."
Yeah.
I said, "I don't mean it personal, but I'm going to rip somebody's head off."
Right?
Like the question wasn't even that bad of a question, but you get very short.
100%.
There's
Everything.
moments like I just needed to be laying down, or sleeping. Like I didn't need to be doing too much. And then when I finally got up and active, and I went for a walk, I came back and I was like, I need something to eat right now. So
maybe there will be some people. Maybe the Hard 75, a BvB Hard 75 group challenge might be.
I love it. I'm in.
Might be kind of fun to do. See track everybody's workouts and keep everybody accountable to each other.
Right,
like a team. Yeah, interesting. Favorite thing about today is what? You're healthy. You're back up.
Yeah. No, seriously. Like the fact that we got to do. Do the show. I was last night. I was like, excited that I could think, and I was like, I was making mental notes for the show and the games, and the favorites won, and
right,
Mark Goldberg's his name. Spooky Express lost. I was bummed out. We need Seattle tonight for our guy, who's doing good in the contest. He's got Seattle +4. So hopefully Philly wins. Seattle covers. That's fine with me.
Who's that?
Jeremy. 2-1.
Oh,
yeah.
He's what is he? Do you know what his record is right now?
He's got Seattle.
Is he 2-1, 3-1?
2-2.
2-2. He
needs 2-2 going into the week.
Okay.
3-2 will maintain.
Yeah.
We'll be good.
Okay.
But yeah, all that's good. And then my other favorite thing about today is that in the midst of hanging around and doing nothing, it hit me yesterday that the kids don't have school for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. And last night, Kendall goes, it's not time to go to bed. It was 10:30, and I don't have to go to bed because I don't have school. And I'm like, oh. And Jessica and I were both like, all right, what are we going to do? What do you want to do? Well, you should read a book. I'm not reading a book tonight. No, I'm off school for the next 2 weeks. So I said, all right, get the game on PlayStation. So She downloaded 2K
Basketball. Wow.
and said, next.
Let's go.
I got next. So the favorite thing about today is that after the show, I'm hanging up. She's waiting for me downstairs. It's been loading all night. And she was practicing. I saw her doing the tutorials.
I'm amazed at how advanced video games are.
It's
the language.
Incredible.
You got to really learn.
I'm going to get smoked by the 9-year-old. And she is going to talk shit
the whole time,
just like I would. And her mother was encouraging her last night. She said, Kendall, when you do something good, you can get up and dance. Make sure you do it in front of daddy all the time. Because once he figures this out, it's not going to be fun for you. Once he's probably going to go upstairs and study the controller. And I'm like, no, I'm not. Secretly, I would have, but I was too tired. So I'm going to let her beat me up today, maybe tomorrow. But for the next 2 weeks, we're playing 2K. Look out.
That's great. That's that you got to have something to do though, right? Because it's a long. I mean, I leave in a week, and we go home for 9 days. So this would be the longest trip we've made in quite a while. But the next 6 days are going to be like,
gotta get. I can't play that game that the kids were playing last week. Those two were playing.
Oh, that's tough.
Well,
very physical.
But I played that with Kendall, and she kicked my ass like it was embarrassing. And so I'm not going to get better at that. She just moves small. Like I got no chance.
Right.
So when she said,
2K,
I want to download 2K, I'll figure that out.
Yeah.
I got a shot.
Yeah, you play a while. I mean, it's I have an Xbox One that Madeline just now, she just is starting to do a lot of stuff on it. And like she hasn't shown any interest in it for like years. And now this past like 2 months, she's now getting more and more into games. And I'm like, okay, this is good. Like, let's go. Like we can have some fun with this. And she's now doing Minecraft a lot. And there's some pretty cool games that exist on that. My favorite thing about today is sort of just basic, but I think there's just something really special with this time of the year. And I think to keep in mind for some people who really struggle this time of the year. And if you have somebody who might need a call, a text, a pick me up, like today would be the day to do it. Like it's not close to Christmas, but you're like in a week for Christmas. And my mom's aunt just passed away this morning, and I knew the name Auntie Jenny growing up, but I don't believe I ever met her. But like my mom's family is hurting this morning, and I mean, she was old. I think she was in her 90s, but she had a good run of it. But I was just talking to my mom about people that who have a tough time. And there's people in our family who have a tough time at this time of the year because they don't like it, because it just brings up bad memories, or it brings up things that just cause them to, drink, cause them to do drugs, cause them to just, self, hate in some ways. And so like, if you know somebody like that, like today would be a great day to just reach out and say, hey, how are you? You okay? Like what's going on? Thinking about you or whatever it might be. So, my favorite thing about today is that I personally love this time of the year, but it reminds me that some people don't, and some people really don't like this time of the year. And so I wanted to talk about that and say, you know what, if there is somebody in your life, or it's you for that matter, just know that we're here, the brigade's here.
Yeah.
We'll get you through it. It's a special time for a lot of people, but it's also a pissed off, shitty time for a lot of people too. So there's always that other side of the coin when it comes to the holidays. So back on tomorrow, we have got a lot to get to. We'll break down the Monday Night Football game coming up tomorrow. We'll look at picks and plays and bowl games. And I can't believe it, we're getting closer and closer to some big bowl games. You guys have a new defensive coordinator. We'll talk about Tom Allen being the new DC for Penn State tomorrow a little bit, as Penn State heads to a bowl game.
Who wins the game tonight? Eagles.
Is Hurts playing?
Eagles or Seahawks?
Is Hurts playing?
I don't know.
Hurts plays, Philly wins. Hurts doesn't, coin flip.
Okay.
So see what the game time. We'll see when the announcement is. We're getting close to kickoff.
How do we not know this?
It's a great question. It's 1:30 Pacific time, and we don't know.
How do we
yet.
not know this?
It's probably going to be when he gets to the building, how he feels once he gets warmed up. Can he play or not? So we'll see. We'll recap it tomorrow. He's Dave. I'm Matt. We're back tomorrow. Same place, same time for BvB.